Okay, welcome to our Valentine's DIY. So I thought it would be fun to kick this off. I'm currently obsessed with a Netflix series. It's a Spanish novella. It's all in Spanish. The truth is I'm really trying to learn Spanish better. So I watch these Spanish novellas so I can learn my Spanish. So I'm going to share this with you. It's one of my favorite love scenes from, yes, this is it. Ooh, is it not sharing? There we go. Is it sharing the right window? Netflix, do you see Netflix? Okay. All right, you get the idea. It doesn't get too much more risque than that, but I just thought it was fun that like it really doesn't matter the language, it doesn't matter anything, but it's just this couple had known each other since they were little kids, and this is like their first experience together. But we're not all in our 20s anymore, and not all of us have hormones that work like that. So we're gonna start. I'm gonna introduce Beck. Can I call you Beck? Your official Zoom says Rebecca. Beck Kinderman. Hormones are one of her jams. She loves to talk about them. She's super smart and been oiling for a long time. So I'm going to hand it over to Beck to talk about oils and hormones.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. It's so good to be here again with Ali's team. And I know some of my team are in here as well. So hello. Okay, so let's talk a little bit, and I'm going to be doing a DIY at the end, but I just want to touch on how important it is to have balanced hormones for a libido, for your sex drive. So if anyone in here is a mum, raise your hand, give me a little wave. I'm sure at some point, maybe there has been a time, and even if you're not a mum, this can still happen, but maybe at some point in your life, you have felt like you had low or no sex drive. And I know that I had a very high libido prior to having kids. And then after I had kids, it was like nothing. My poor husband, it was like, ugh. So it took many years of me trying to figure out like what my body needed and how to really balance my hormones again, and how beautiful that we have tools at our fingertips. And I want to say as well, like, I think it's really important if you have a hormone specialist and you're really struggling, it's great to have somebody to go to. It's great to get a hormone panel done to see where all your levels are so you know what you're working with, because you don't want to just throw everything at the fire and not know what you're working with. But we have amazing tools that can really support the process. So low sex drive is often related to obviously hormone imbalance or just hormone changes. And then our levels of critical sex hormones and testosterone start to go down, DHEA and testosterone, start to go down after our 20s. So it kind of spikes in our, at 20, and then it starts to slowly decline. And this is a natural process, but it can also be the reason why we find that our libido, gets lower and lower. And so we want to be able to do things naturally to help increase that, where you're not pushing your hormones in a direction it doesn't want to go, but you're helping to just support the process of keeping that libido high and healthy. The other thing is stress. So our stress hormone is cortisol, and this, you guys, can cause a lot of hormonal problems. So what we want to really focus on is increasing DHEA, testosterone, also supporting progesterone and estrogens. We're going to talk a little bit about that, but really supporting our stress levels as well. And low sex drive is often a symptom of adrenal fatigue. So if this is something that you have ever experienced, or you have this, really resonates with you, then this is something that we need to look at. So Endoflex, I don't know, does South Africa have Endoflex, Ali? Okay, awesome. So Endoflex is a wonderful oil to help support adrenal fatigue. It's a blend that's also really, really good for the thyroid. So I use Endoflex every single day. I put it over my thyroid, and then I also put it over my adrenal glands. And you can just look up a chart of where to apply that. But this is wonderful. Now, once a day may not cut it if you're really struggling. So using your oils more frequently is going to be super, super important and beneficial for you here. So if you're really struggling with adrenal fatigue, get out that Endoflex, put a roller ball on top. Okay, that's my little tip. Put the roller ball on top because it's really easy to grab and roll away, and you just do that consistently throughout the day. So sometimes I'll be applying it 5 times a day if I feel like I need to. Other times I don't. The great thing about our essential oils is that they're adaptogens, and an adaptogen is an herb or some sort of a natural substance that supports the body in the way that it needs to. So our essential oils are not going to overdo it with the support or underdo it. It's just going to work with what your body needs. It adapts to what your body is needing in that moment. And okay, so let's talk a little bit before I go more into the adaptogenic side of things. Let's talk a little bit about emotions and stress. So everyone has their favorite oils, and I really want to encourage you to find out what works with your body, because what works for me may not necessarily work the same for you. So some of my favorite oils for stress support and emotions is Valor, Stress Away, Lavender, Peace and Calming. There are so many oils, but find what works for you. For me, it's Valor and frankincense. They are my go-to oils when I'm feeling overwhelmed and stressed and anxious. All right, let's talk a little bit about our actual hormones. So testosterone and estrogen are really important factors to consider. So how do we support these hormones naturally? What we're not doing here, you guys, is when we're using our essential oils, we are not driving function. We're not forcing our body to do something against its will, which is what synthetic hormone therapy will do. It will drive the function. It will force your body into that direction. All essential oils do is they are suggesters to the body. So they suggest to the body, hey, let's do more of this. You need some more of this, so let's move in that direction. But it suggests and supports to the body. Okay. So I found a really good tip for increasing testosterone from Dr. Dan Purser. And if you haven't heard of him, he's the doctor that formulated Progessence Plus with Gary Young. He said to increase testosterone, put 8 drops of Idaho Blue Spruce into a capsule and take it every single day. So I have started doing that. And so far, so good. It's only been a few days because I only just found it. But I'm excited to see what the results are, after a few weeks or a month or whatever. So that's a great suggestion from a doctor who is really knowledgeable in all things hormones. Then there's clary sage. Now, clary sage often is considered the oil to support estrogen, right? But because it's an adaptogen, it's going to adapt to what you need. So if you have high levels of estrogen, it's actually going to help to regulate and bring it down. It's not going to increase it more. And that's what's so powerful about our oils. Then you've also got sandalwood. This is a really great oil for naturally regulating and increasing testosterone. And then, of course, you've got sclerescence. Do you have sclerescence in South Africa? Okay, so that's another blend. But again, you can just use your clary sage. There's dragon thyme, ylang ylang. There's lots of oils that you can choose from to help to support those healthy estrogen levels. The other thing I want to touch on is omega-3s. So I'm not sure if South Africa has omega Gize. Does Europe have it? Can any of my girls in Europe let me know if Europe has it? Omega-3s are a really, really important part of regulating our hormones. So getting those healthy omegas to the brain. So while Young Living does not have omega Gize in South Africa, definitely consider adding in a really high quality, omega-3 supplement to really support that process. Okay, progesterone. Again, progesterone is really important. Balancing progesterone. Progessence Plus is hands down the greatest. It is a natural serum using wild yam extract for the progesterone. Again, it was formulated by Dr. Dan Purser with Gary Young. And what's great about this serum is not an oil, so it's not an adaptogen. You can actually have too much or too little. But what's great is if you have high estrogen levels and you want to bring that down, naturally increasing progesterone will decrease estrogen. So that's a really good way to do that. And then finally, DHEA, I'm sure that South Africa does not have this yet, but you may be able to get it on NFR, is Prenolone Plus Cream and PD8020. Those both contain DHEA. If you cannot, find a good DHEA supplement because DHEA obviously is one of those things that, go down and decrease as we get older. All right, so that's a little bit about the hormone side. If we can get the hormones balanced, we can increase healthy libido, because even though it's very common for women to have low sex drive, it's not normal. It means that something is out of balance. So we really, really want to work on that. And that's something that I have had to work on really, really hard to get back to really enjoying myself and wanting to get back in the sack. So let's get on to a fun DIY, shall we? I'm going to be showing you a little DIY lubricant. Now, I know that Ali was going to talk about Sensation massage oil, I think. So that is super fun and can be used for that. But I'm going to show you a fun little DIY because they are super fun to make, and then you can have fun with all the oils. So you can either get yourself a dropper, or you can use, a pump bottle. And I have my fractionated coconut here. Just a pump bottle like that would work as well. But I'm going to do it in my little dropper today. Okay. So the oils that I'm using today are geranium, ylang ylang, and peppermint. So ylang ylang is a natural aphrodisiac. Okay. Well, let me just say, my husband doesn't need help in that department, but whenever he puts it on, he's like, come on babe, let's go for it. And I don't even know, it works really well. So ylang ylang, you can put 3 to 4 drops. Okay, you could do more if you wanted, but I'm just going to do 4 drops. And then I'm going to do geranium. Again, it's another delicious oil that's also great for hormones. Smells divine. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't want to overdo it with oils, you guys, because, this is going to be going in those sensitive areas. And then I'm going to use peppermint. Peppermint is going to give that really nice tingly sensation. So I'm going to do 3 drops of peppermint, so a little bit less than the other oils. And then you just fill it up with a carrier oil. So with the fractionated coconut oil, I want to just let you guys know that if you are using condoms, this is going to reduce the efficacy. So don't use coconut oil if you're also using a condom and trying to avoid getting pregnant. All right, I'm going to give it a little shake. Oh, that smells so good. All right, so that is a super simple, easy DIY lubricant recipe, all right, for you. So have fun, use that on yourself or on your partner before you get into the bed, and you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. Pass it back to you, Ali.
Thanks so much, Beck. I wanted to add one more thing before I hand it to Natasha, is that we didn't really talk about this yet, but endocrine disruptors, which are the chemicals that you have and a lot of the standard things off the shelf, they can really whack out your hormones. They can set your estrogen through the roof, your progesterone plummeting, and vice versa. So highly, highly recommend, if you haven't started to get rid of the chemical products in your home, that you really look into it. Just do a search on endocrine disruptors. I don't want to spend, we want this to be fun today, but truly do look at that, because you're going to keep messing up your hormones if you don't get rid of the things that are causing disruption. And it's so inexpensive to replace things with chemical-free options. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to you, Natasha.
Thanks, Ellie. And thanks, Becca. So I'm going to follow on with what Becca said. And I've, for the last 4 years, have suffered with an underactive thyroid and trying to, get my levels corrected, and also the whole endocrine system also out of whack. So I can contest to saying that I haven't had a very high libido. And my poor partner's like, what's going on? Don't you love me anymore? And I'm like, no, it's not that. It's just I don't feel like it. And so since using Endoflex and changing a lot of my diet and eliminating toxins, slowly but surely it's coming back. But I just did want to say that using ylang ylang in the bedroom is definitely a way to get that libido back again and the passion. So what is ylang ylang? It's a flower from the tropical trees in Indonesia, and its aromatic benefits influence sexual energy and enhances relationships. It may help stimulate the adrenal glands, and it's a calming, relaxing oil that brings back feelings of self-love, confidence, joy, and peace. And I can definitely contest to that. This oil has definitely benefited in that area, and I'm definitely going to try your new mix, well, that we've learned now, Becca, because I'm sure that will also bring some excitement. But it is a very important part of your relationship, and I feel happy to be intimate with my partner again, because that is how you guys get close. So what I do is I diffuse it in the room, make a sentence, and just put some within your inner thighs, and Bob's your uncle. So that's what I got to say about Yang Ylang. So thank you.
Thanks. I love Bob's your uncle. Edie, you're up next. Are you good to go?
Hi, everybody. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about setting the mood, because for me, I think it's very important to set the mood right for the evening. I know it's always not always easy, but when it's a special occasion, I think the mood is everything. Instead of jumping into bed and watching Netflix and falling asleep, maybe a little bit of effort could go a long way, and I'm sure your partner definitely appreciates it. So the first thing about setting the mood is we all have our beautiful diffusers, and I've actually got ylang ylang and orange diffusing, and I've decorated my diffuser for the evening with our hearts for Valentine's Day. So definitely setting the mood with smell. There's so many different diffuser blends and combinations that you can use. My husband, I'm not even married, my boyfriend loves ylang ylang, so I diffuse that often. And we all know that, the sense of smell goes straight to our limbic system and it's the part of our brain that affects our emotions and our memory. And, it's just smelling something can have a huge effect on our sex drive just by smelling oils. So definitely getting the diffuser going first. And you can pick your color that you want. You can put it on your candle flicker mode, whatever you want, turn the lights off, get the color going, get the scent going, set the mood. And sometimes I know it's nice to have candles, but we're not going into the whole toxin story, but we all know fragrances are a no-no. So fragrance candles are definitely not something we want to use. So we can make our own candles. So here are some candles that I made, just pink candles. And is my screen sticking because it's like lagging on my side? Can you all hear me? Okay. So you can actually buy, and in South Africa, I don't know where you can get in America, you can buy a tub of gel wax. It's completely natural, or even soya wax. And you just melt that down on the stove, and you add whatever essential oils you want. And then you fill it up, put it in your glass jar. The tricky part is getting the wick in, because these wicks don't balance. So you buy individual wicks like this. So you've got to stick it into the bottom of your glass jar and then let it set, and that's a candle. So we all know that we don't like to burn oils because it doesn't, devalues the therapeutic properties of the oils. But if you're wanting just for smell, and something natural and not fragranced, synthetic fragrance candles, this is a great option to use. Put it around your bath, just great to make your own candles. And I just wanted to talk about one oil, which we don't get here in South Africa, but we do get in America, and it's my go-to oil, and it's Sensation. And just like Beck puts a roll on her Endoflex, I also do. I've got a roll on my Sensation. Just put a little bit of carrier oil in, because once you put it on, it can get quite hot. And you want to put it also around your thigh, maybe just below your belly button, in all the good places. And as Lucy Libido says, you can even put it on your love button. I'm not going to spell it out what that is. I'm sure you can use your imagination. But this is seriously like amazing. Addie's going to talk to you about the massage version of it, but the Sensation oil is a definite. And I even went upstairs to go get it now, and I said to my boyfriend, where's my Sensation oil? He says, it's not yours, it's mine. So he loves it. So yeah, that's me.
Thanks, Adie. Sorry, I have a 100-pound dog who's lifting my hand up off the keyboard. She's wanting attention right now. So I'm going to talk to you guys about Sensation massage oil, but whether or not you get it in your country, I'm going to tell you what's in it. But before I go there, I just want you to think about, so this is a massage oil, but I use it to massage the nether regions only, so also known as a lubricant. But I want you to think about lubricants that you purchase at the store and the chemicals that you are in them, and the fact that they're going in your most sensitive parts of your body. So I had several people that I'm really kind of like the best salesperson ever for this massage oil. Like if I'm comfortable enough to have that conversation with you, I will tell you to buy it. And I've had multiple people say, oh my gosh, I used to get UTIs all the time from that lubricant that I used to buy at the store. And now I don't get any of that. And this, by the way, works so much better. It's not just about slip and slide. It's about what it does to the body. So let me first tell you what's in it. And by the way, you notice there's a pump on it. It's super handy, just saying. So it has coconut oil and grapeseed oil as the base. Then it has, of course, ylang ylang, coriander, bergamot. It has wheat germ oil, which, by the way, is gluten-free. If that is an issue with you, we are both gluten-free. Jasmine, sweet almond oil, olive oil, and geranium. So if you wanted to make your own, and it's the same thing as the Sensation oil blend, which is amazing. By the way, I use that to make lip balm. I use Sensation oil to make my own lip balms. I'm obsessed with Sensation. It's amazing. But this is like, I don't know how to say it any other way other than I had never experienced rolling O's before. And this is like the easy button for my husband. It truly is. It's like he does no work and it's all done for him. So I'll just leave it at that, and you can go there in your mind. But do think about like what you put down there and how it can really hurt your body. So instead, use something that is amazing. Okay, now I can stop blushing and talk about things for men. My DIY is actually going to be for men. And I don't know if you saw in the chat that Adie wrote that Idaho Blue Spruce is also can be known as the natural purple pill. It's really amazing. Or it's purple in the US, Viagra, if you don't know what I'm talking about. A really, really amazing oil, and Beck mentioned it as well, for help helping to boost testosterone levels. I happen to be out of goldenrod because I gave it away to someone who's on this call in South Africa when I visited. Cypress, which is, by the way, I'm going to add goldenrod to this when I get a replacement. Cypress is really good for circulation, and so is ylang ylang, which is why they're so good for men down below, because it's all about getting blood flowing, right? We get the blood flowing in the right place. So those are the three that I'm going to use, is Idaho blue spruce, ylang ylang, and cypress. And I have a cute little blue roller ball, so my husband will know that this is his roller. And so I'm really not specific. People always ask how many drops. I'm like, I just wing it. So these are not really hotter oils. So I'm just gonna, well, is it low? I'm gonna replace this one. I have another one on the shelf. Apparently that one is low. Good, someone's been using it. So I will use cypress, 8 or 9 drops or whatever. Same thing with ylang ylang. And I do this on purpose so that you guys know that you just, this is not baking. It doesn't have to be exact. I just want to dilute it enough that it smooths on the skin. And I don't really, most of my oils I use neat anyway. So I will add the Idaho blue spruce to this in just a minute. And then I also wanted to share, I was going to share the screen, Edie, when you were talking about the DIYs. But what we can do is share these out in our chats. I don't know if you can see this, but we have some really fun diffuser recipes. Setting the mood, some sleep diffuser afterwards, which, you know, we wear yourself out. These are some roll-on recipes. And of course, let's see here. There's a thigh potion, a macho man. So you see there's, you could also add black pepper to it. Hong Kui, if you have it in your markets, also really good male oil. And then you could do an edible body butter. There's some fun recipes. So we'll share these with you guys and you can kind of play with it as you so choose. Okay, so that's basically the content that we were going to share today. Does anyone have any questions? If you're so brave to ask them.